It's your boy Sam back here with another video, and in this video today, guys, we're going to be doing a tier list of the top power forwards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Now, most of these cards are pink diamonds or galaxy opals, but we do have some decent budget options. We have obviously the free Willis Reed, have Anderson Varejao, Gortat on this list as well. If there is anybody I left off this list, I apologize, but it's kind of hard because at some stage you have to have like a cutoff point, right? I'm not going to rank, you know, just like a Amy, let's say like an Amy Anthony Davis at this point. It's just, is anybody really using that card? Should they be using him? Probably not. And so I don't feel like I should be ranking him. We're going to start off here with the pink diamond Blake Griffin. When we're ranking the top power forwards in the game, I mean, does anybody like Blake Griffin? I know it's not just me. He is the definition of mid. In past years, Blake Griffin has had his time in 2K. At this stage, I just don't see it with Blake Griffin at all. If you want to, you know, hype up the card somehow, some way, do what you got to do. But if you're running Blake Griffin, you should probably look for a new power forward. I'd go as far as saying I even like Jermaine O'Neal more than Blake Griffin. And I think Jermaine O'Neal is absolutely mid as well. His release, I don't think is great. His player build's fine. It's wide. I'll give him that. But it's just like you're using that Keldon Johnson base, which is so slow, so methodical. And it's not a release that I can get behind. Next up, Blatch. I like Blatch more than Jermaine O'Neal or Blake Griffin. I honestly think his best position is that power forward position. Now, is he B tier? Is he A tier? That's, I think, the debate we need to have. I don't love Blatch's release, but everything else on the court he does at an extremely high level. Again, definitely if you're comparing him to Jermaine O'Neal or Blake Griffin, has a big time advantage. Thing about it though is Anthony Davis is better than Blatch. But my question to you guys would be this: is Anthony Davis A tier or S tier? That's the question you have to ask, because that's going to determine a lot about where a lot of these guys end up. For me right now, throwing him at A tier, but really do like Anthony Davis. I think the one thing that holds Anthony Davis back slightly is that slow-ish release. Bam Adebayo up next. I mean, B tier, I think, is where I gotta go. I think he gets overshadowed quite a bit by the opal, but the diamond Bam was good in his own right. Played good defense, knocks down shots at a high level. I think he's better than a guy, again, like a Jermaine O'Neal, and a lot of for Bam goes back to that release. His release is so easy to green, so easy to time. That's why I've got him at B tier. When you're looking at pink diamond Bam, you gotta go A tier. I think people sleep on Pink Diamond Bam, and I know he's undersized. I know compared to some of the other top bigs, he might get eaten alive just because, again, he's a little undersized. But when I'm looking at Bam, I see a versatile power forward that can knock down shots at an extremely high level with a good release that plays great defense. That's what I see with Bam. Also see a guy that fits that switch all meta, can throw him on ball and have a lot of success. Bob Pettit at this stage, I mean, C tier. There's nothing really there to look at for Bob Pettit. And honestly, if you wanted to talk about collector levels so far in my team, it has been the absolute definition of mid. You know, it started hot. The Desmond Bane was good. There's some other decent cards, and at the end of it, you know, there's Kobe. But the in-between stages have been nothing but mid. Chet Holmgren up next. I gotta go A tier, I think. And it's not for me that Chet is the best player in the game, but it's the consistency of Chet. Like, even if you look at him on my No Money Spent Squad series, he's been consistent. He's 7-1, plays lanes, gets you stops, knocks down shots. I mean, there's just not anything bad about the card. Sure, he can get mashed occasionally because that strength rating is a little bit low, but everything else I can stand for with Mr. Chet. Chris Bosh up next. I'm gonna throw him at B tier. I'd like Chris Bosh, though. I just think when you're talking about the top power forwards in the game, I think it's hard to put Chris Bosh higher than B tier. When you're looking at him even compared to like an Anthony Davis, I think you'd be a fool to like Chris Bosh more. Now, it is all preference based. I actually like Chris Bosh's release more than Anthony Davis, so it is kind of tough, but I think I gotta go B tier for Mr. Chris Bosh. Chris Webber up next. C tier? I mean, I don't hate Chris Webber, though, but is he better than Bam or Blatch? I don't think so, and I'm going to go C tier, and I'm going to move Bob Pettit down. And if you're a big Bob Pettit fan, I'm sorry. I've played against that card 0 times, and he does not look impressive to me when I do look at his stats, badges, and animations. Dwight Howard, call me crazy. I'm going B tier for Dwight Howard at the power forward position. Give me Chet over Dwight. Give me Bam over Dwight. Give me AD over Dwight. Dwight's release is so slow. It's so methodical. I get on the defensive end of the court that Dwight Howard's going to be fantastic. And that is awesome if you are personally running Dwight. And let's say you're having a lot of success. That's awesome for you guys. Like, I'm happy. But for me, when I used him in a gameplay, and if you don't believe me, watch the Dwight Howard gameplay, I was not impressed, to say the least. Elton Brand up next. I mean, I know he's a free card, but he is not very good. This card is not worth your time going and getting. I'm just going to say that off rip, and I'm going to go D tier. He's only 6'9". His stats are mid. It's mediocre. He came out the same day we saw those juiced all-star cards, and they couldn't even update anything with Elton Brand. Basically went to show all the community what 2K is truly about. As long as they get their money, they don't care. Elton Brand, D tier. Evan Mobley up next. I like Mobley over all these cards. I'm throwing him at C tier. Now, Mobley, I get it. The release holds him way back. He's never going to be that top power forward in my team just because of that release. But player build, fantastic. Defensively, absolutely elite. Evan Mobley, a shoe-in for me at C tier. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Pink Diamond up next. I'm going to go A tier. Look, Pink Diamond Giannis is still going to do his thing. I mean, is he as good as the Galaxy Open? No. He's not. And I know my Diamond Giannis isn't on this list. But if I were to rank Diamond Giannis, he'd probably be C tier at minimum. But here's the thing with Pink Diamond Giannis. And Diamond Giannis probably would be B tier. Pink Diamond Giannis is going to knock down shots. Defensively, one of the most versatile players in the entire game. There's just no flaws in Pink Diamond Giannis. Now, obviously, when you're talking about Galaxy Opal Giannis, you're looking at the best power forward in the game, bar none. Like this, what this card does on the court, attacking the rim, what he does on the court defensively. He has hot spots from both corners. He can get that three into the low 80s. Even shooting the ball, you've got to talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo being able to shoot the ball at an extremely high level as well. Easy shoe-in for me at S tier. Hakeem Olajuwon up next. I mean, I don't hate Hakeem. I think B tier is too high, but the hard part is I've got a lot of mid in B tier. Like if I'm looking at B tier, I think overall it's mid. I think I got to throw him at C tier though. I mean, I just think at this stage, people still run Hakeem though. I think he's better at the center position. Power forward wise, I'm throwing him at C tier. It might be too low for him. Like I give you guys the benefit of the doubt. If you don't want to put Hakeem at C tier and you want to move him to B tier, that's fine. But for me, I think I got to go C tier. JJ Hickson, I mean, he's not as good as Blatch in my opinion. I'm going to go C tier for JJ Hickson as well. And I don't hate I mean, on my no money spent, I don't hate him though. So it's like, is he B tier? Maybe, but the three ball is just too low in my opinion when we're talking about JJ Hickson. I wish he had a little higher three ball. And maybe I just need to move Blatch up a tier. I think if I do this, I like my B tier more. I think I like it more if I do that. And so that's what I'm going to do. Because Blatch is by far and away, in my opinion, better than JJ Hickson. Pink Diamond Joel Embiid up next. Perfect addition to B tier. Another card that I might like more at that center position than the power forward position. But when I look at Joel Embiid, I think he's got Hall of Fame catch and shoot. He's going to knock down shots with a decent release. There's just nothing bad that I can say about Joel Embiid. Galaxy Opal Joel Embiid. Here's where things get difficult. Is he S tier or is he A tier? My thing with Joel Embiid is this. Is he slightly better than the Pink Diamond Joel? Yes. But is he Giannis level? I don't think so. I'm going to put Joel Embiid at A tier. And again, if you do not like that, that's okay. But that's where I've got him. Joel Embiid, A tier at the power forward position. Julius Randle, C tier, I guess. I mean, I do not like Julius Randle. He's undersized. I mean, his release isn't that great. One thing about Julius Randle is he did get updated stats, updated badges. And so, like, even compared to, like, a Blake Griffin, that's the one thing he's got going for him. But give me JJX and Bam Adebayo's diamond cards over Julius Randle every day of the week. Kareem, I said Giannis is the best power forward in the game. Kareem's the best power forward in the game. But, I mean, look, here's the deal. I don't even want to rank Kareem because I don't even know if he exists in my team. I've not played against him. And it's just sad that he is behind the biggest paywall in my team history. But as it stands, he is the best card in the game, and there's really no way to argue that. If you want to argue it, I don't know how you do. Pink Diamond Cat, I mean, C tier. I wish I could argue B tier for this Pink Diamond Cat. I'm gonna argue B tier. You know what? With what he does in the defensive end of the court, I think he's above Julius Randle. That's my opinion on Cat. Am I biased because I like Cat? Sure. Galaxy Opal Cat, I'll go A tier. A lot of people want to gas Galaxy Opal Cat a ton, and I get it, but like, I'd still run Anthony Davis over Galaxy Opal Cat. A lot of the reason has to do with that release. I know it's on quick, but it's still that set shot type of base. And which, look, if it was last year's Cat, I'd like that set shot over this year's. It's just not what it needs to be, in my opinion. Karl-Anthony Towns is A tier. Kevin Durant up next at the power forward position, A tier. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm going to rank LeBron as well, and I'm not going to lie. If Bron's at the power forward position, I'm going S tier. Look, I'd run KD and Bron both at the small forward position in a heartbeat. I would never run either of them at the power forward position. But if you do, LeBron is S tier, and Kevin Durant is for sure in A tier. Now, let me look and see if we got any F tier cards on this list. I'm not going to lie. Y'all can hate me, but I'm going to move Gortat there, and I'm going to move Bob Pettit there. Like, I got to have somebody in F tier, and those are the two guys that I think fit F tier more than anybody else. Kevin Garnett, I'm going to throw him at C tier. At this stage, he's just a little outdated. And it's not to say you still can't play KG and have some sort of success. His release is just a little bit slow. The 3-ball is in the low 70s. I just think it's tough to really get behind what KG does offensively. Defensively, still going to be absolutely elite, and that's why he is at C tier. Miles Turner up next. I got to throw him at S tier. I think Miles Turner is better than Cat. I think he's better than Joel Embiid. Now, is Miles Turner as good as Giannis? No. And that's a question a lot of people have been talking about. Ty, do you think Miles Turner is better than Giannis? No. And so if you get Miles Turner, I know there's like that pack on mobile, but I don't recommend opening it. I didn't open it because, look, I already got Giannis Brown. I don't need anybody else. But here's the deal. If you get Miles Turner, he can play. He's at S tier, and I really have no hesitation with that. Jokic up next. Y'all can hate me. I'm going A tier with Jokic. I know a lot of people are in love with Nikola Jokic, and I get it. I played against him last night in my tournament. And yes, for all you guys that hate, oh my gosh, Ty, you're part of the problem ripping packs. And I was like, well, I kind of got to win tournaments. I won my Players Lounge last night, in case you guys wondered, okay? And made a lot of money off that. More money than I spent on Friday, but way more, but that's besides the point. Jokic is fine. I'm glad I pulled Giannis over him, though, to say the least. Jokic, A tier, in my opinion. I think he's better at center position as well. Boncaro up next. Pink Diamond Boncaro. This one's tough. I think I've got to go A tier, though. I like his player motto. I like his player build. His release is fantastic. He's going to green shots for you. I actually think he's better at the power forward position than the small forward position. I think A tier is perfect for Paolo Boncaro. Serge Ibaka at this stage, I mean C tier. And I don't hate Serge Ibaka, but it's like he's not even a budget big. And that's the problem with some of these, diamonds and ambies at this stage is they've not lost enough of their price value. Like, they need to go down more in price than they have been. Serge Ibaka is still at C tier. Sean Kemp up next. I guess I'm going D tier. I do not like Sean Kemp. I've been on record for saying it, and I'll say it again. Sean Kemp, I think, is not nearly as good as people want to gas him to be. I'm D tier with Mr. Sean Kemp. Thurl Bailey, at this stage, at the power forward position, I'm going to go B tier. I know some people might argue A tier, and that's fine. But, I mean, I think he's better at the small forward position at this stage. I'll take Blatch over Thurl Bailey, I do believe. Maybe not. It's just... It's tough because he is 6'11", and he plays great defense. I got to go A tier. But then it's tough because it's like Jokic is far superior to Thurl Bailey. So it's like, do I got to move Jokic up? I don't know. It gets pretty tough when you really start doing this thing. I guess, am I supposed to add a row above and just add Kareem? I mean, come on. Like, what am I meant to do here? Like, I think this is where things, like, really get difficult for me is it's like, what am I meant to do here? I mean, there's no good things to do here. I mean, I guess I'll make a GOAT tier for Kareem, right? And then just go from there. I need to change the color, make it a little lighter. But then it's just like, I feel like it's really hard for me to try to do this. So Jokic, I guess I'll move up to S tier. Then, I like it, I guess, a little more, but then it's even like a Joel Embiid. I don't know. I'm not moving Jokic up because I do not know if he is deserving of that. Tyson Chandler, another tough one, man. Another really, really tough one. I'm going to go A tier, and I know a lot of people are going to get really mad at me for it, but he is not this level at the power forward position. He's not. I'm sorry. I really like Tyson Chandler, but he's not. Willis Reed up next, B tier for Willis Reed. I like Willis Reed. I think you can make the case that Willis Reed can compete with any power forward in my team, but he's B tier. For a free card, I'll take that every single day. Yalen up next, another card at A tier. I have a lot of cards at A tier, but I'm sorry. I want my S tier and GOAT tier to be elite of the elite. Yalen right in there with Tyson Chandler. Cards I really do like, but they're not the elite of the elite. Anderson Varejao, I'm going to go D tier. Don't love the card. I think his 3-ball is a little low, but definitely can go out there and compete at a really high level. Here's what I'll say, guys. A tier, look at it like it's S tier without gambling. Because you got to gamble to get all these Galaxy Opals. GOAT tier basically doesn't exist. So then you're looking at this being your tier list, right? And what you got 3 players at S tier. A tier is still absolutely elite. B tier is definitely that drop off. C tier or lower cards I probably would not use at this stage. That's going to wrap it up for my video. I'm eager to hear you guys' thoughts on it down below in the comments. Drop a like on it. Subscribe if you're new. As always, better love you guys. And have a blessed day.